When you go no contact, the narcissist does this.
The narcissist does this every day when you go no contact with them. Ending a relationship with a narcissist can feel like an impossible maze. Their reactions seem unpredictable, and you may fear the consequences of cutting ties. But implementing no contact offers a light to guide you out of their darkness. In this video, we'll walk through real accounts of what transpires when you go no contact, using examples to illustrate the narcissist's emotions and behaviors. You'll gain clarity on their dysfunctional responses and why no contact, though challenging, remains the only way to freedom. Arm yourself with knowledge and take back control. By the end, you'll understand exactly why no contact works against narcissists and what you may be doing wrong that enables their manipulation to persist. So be sure to like and subscribe for more content revealing narcissists' shadowy methods. Please share your experiences dealing with narcissistic behaviors in the comments. Which phrases ring true for you? If you feel stuck and can't understand your attraction to them or your own personality patterns, I highly recommend watching this video later, What Narcissists Wish for Post-Discard. Twisted Fantasy of Narcissistic Emotional Abuse. The link is in the description below. Now let's explore your life with narcissist.
The narcissist's false charm.
In the early stages of the relationship, the narcissist ensnares you with excessive flattery and attention, a process known as love bombing. They shower you with compliments, gifts, and promises for the future. The narcissist makes you feel like the most important person in their world. For example, one woman described her experience with a narcissistic partner in the beginning. He constantly texted and called me even during work hours. He said, I was the most beautiful, intelligent woman he'd ever met and wanted to spend every minute together. It felt like a fairy tale. However, the narcissist's charming facade eventually cracks, exposing their true, cruel intentions. Once they know you're hooked, they begin devaluing and distancing themselves. The love bombing stops once you're securely under their control. The woman continued after just 2 months. His attentiveness faded away. His texts and calls slowed to a trickle. He started openly flirting with waitresses and coworkers in front of me. If I complained, he accused me of being crazy and paranoid. The narcissist now feels entitled to mistreat you, knowing they've made you emotionally dependent on them. You're left confused by their sudden indifference after so much initial pursuit. But this serves to keep you clinging to the relationship, trying to regain their affection.
Implementing no contact.
Exhausted by the narcissist's cruelty and manipulation, you decide to break ties by going no contact. This means cutting off all communication and access to you. For the woman, going no contact required blocking him on her phone and social media, avoiding places he frequents, and not interacting with mutual friends who might pass information to him. The narcissist will likely retaliate aggressively, as they cannot tolerate rejection or loss of control. But no contact helps you regain your independence, while their hysterical reactions validate why you left.
The narcissistic injury.
Going no contact delivers a massive blow to the narcissist's ego, known as a narcissistic injury. It represents complete rejection of them as a person. The greater the narcissist's emotional investment in you, the more intensely they will react to no contact. They firmly believe in their superiority and expect deference and loyalty from their partners. You discarding them turns this belief on its head. The woman's partner was enraged when she completely cut contact. Though he rarely made time for her when they were together, now that she ended things, he became obsessed with getting her back under his control. As the woman described, he blew up my phone with hundreds of rambling texts from different numbers. He said I was pathetic for leaving and would regret it. When I didn't respond, he started showing up outside my apartment begging to talk, often drunk. It was really unsettling. The narcissist feels entitled to your attention long after the relationship ends. In their minds, you remain their possession. They cannot comprehend why you abandoned them, and the mystery drives their obsession.
Hoovering attempts.
To regain control, the narcissist will use a tactic called hoovering named after a vacuum cleaner. The goal is to suck you back in through manipulation. For example, they may bombard you with texts and calls, often from different numbers. Send gifts and letters professing their love. Show up uninvited at your home, job, or favorite places. Post old photos with you on social media. Sob, they're suicidal and only you can help. Spread malicious gossip about you to mutual friends. As the woman shared, he even contacted my sister and parents begging them to convince me to take him back. It was humiliating having to explain everything. He acted so charming, they thought it was just a lover's spat. The narcissist has no limits when hoovering. They will say or do anything, no matter how extreme, to get a reaction from you. Breaching your boundaries proves they still exert some control.
Surviving the storm.
Enduring the narcissist's harassment requires steely resolve. Lean on supportive friends. Avoid unsafe situations where possible, and document all communication attempts. Most importantly, maintain no contact, no matter how turbulent the narcissist's reactions become. Responding validates their tactics and teaches them what hooks to exploit. Any attention, even negative, feeds their sense of power. The woman found her willpower tested as his pleading texts turned menacing. He threatened to ruin her reputation and get her fired if she didn't talk. But she stayed strong, blocking every new number while gathering evidence. Over time, the narcissist's attempts will diminish once it's clear the hoovering isn't working. They don't want to waste effort where there's no payoff. The woman noticed a turning point around 3 months after going no contact, when his barrage of texts and ambushes suddenly stopped. He wasn't getting the satisfaction of provoking her, so moved on to other sources of attention.
Securing new supply.
While harassing you, the narcissist is also seeking out new supply sources to feed their ego. This could be pursuing multiple shallow affairs, intensified love bombing of existing partners, or securing a replacement primary partner. Having secondary supply helps distract the narcissist temporarily from the pain of your rejection. But ultimately, they crave the exclusivity, emotional intimacy, and external validation of a committed relationship. As the woman described, a month after I ended things, he was already posting photos on Facebook with a girl I'd never seen before, bragging about his old mate. It was clearly an attempt to make me jealous and prove he was fine without me. But his non-stop harassment behind the scenes revealed the truth. The narcissist's relationships are built on lies, though. Their new partners will ultimately suffer the same abuse. The narcissist is incapable of genuine connection, no matter how convincing the illusion.
Why no contact works.
Going no contact robs the narcissist of their power. It renders their manipulation tactics useless while cutting off their access to the attention and drama they so desperately crave. By showing you cannot be controlled or hoovered back in, you inflict a greater narcissistic injury than any confrontation. Indifference is the only way to truly wound a narcissist. Engaging, even negatively, still satisfies their need for supply. Over time, no contact helps you reconnect with yourself apart from the toxicity. Your self-esteem improves, codependent traits fade, and you rediscover your worth. The contrast leaves the narcissist bitter and vengeful. As the woman described, after those 3 horrific months, I finally felt free again. I focused on school, reconnected with old friends, and even started dating someone new. Meanwhile, he spiraled into heavy drinking when it was clear I had moved on for good. Going no contact was the best decision I ever made.
Walking away for good.
When separating from a narcissist, especially one you share children with, they will use every tactic imaginable to keep you tethered to them. This ranges from threats to false promises of change. For example, one woman endured years of verbal abuse from her narcissistic husband. When she finally filed for divorce, her husband alternated between intense rage and desperate claims he would get therapy if she stayed. He knew which vulnerabilities to exploit. As the woman shared, he threatened to fight me for full custody of our kids because of my past struggle with anxiety. It was his favorite weapon to use whenever I brought up divorce. For the sake of our children, I considered staying through so many rough patches, but eventually realized the dysfunction was doing greater harm. Leaving a narcissist with shared assets or children has added challenges. But with legal help and a strong support system, you can establish firm boundaries and still break the traumatic attachment for good. The woman set up a formal parenting plan and separation agreement with her lawyer's assistance. Though her husband tried to be obstructionist, she held firm and did not get sucked back into his drama. Over time, his threats proved empty as she rebuilt her life apart.
Why no contact is essential.
The narcissist employs every trick imaginable to prevent you from leaving because they need you as a source of supply. They value partners for the attention, praise, financial security, status, and connections they provide. Without someone to feed their ego, the narcissist feels empty and develops an intense craving to secure new supply. Meanwhile, no contact offers you the space to heal and break the traumatic attachment. It's the only way to escape the vicious narcissistic cycle of idealization, devaluation, and manipulation. The woman realized total no contact was critical, not just for her own well-being, but her children's too. As she shared, the toxicity of my marriage left my kids anxious and on edge constantly. They needed peace, stability, and to see me model healthy relationships. No contact stops the narcissist's access to you and cuts off their narcissistic supply. This starves their ego and causes panic about securing replacement sources. But for you, it offers the clarity needed to rebuild your life on your own terms. It also validates that the narcissist is incapable of compromise or sincere change. Their extreme reactions against no contact prove they do not respect your boundaries or autonomy.
Why the narcissist reacts so strongly.
A common question those implementing no contact ask is, does my narcissistic partner miss me? The truth is, they miss the power and control you provided, not you as a person. Going no contact robs them of their supply source, which they are programmed to fight for at all costs. To a narcissist, relationships are transactional. You represent a source of validation, not a genuinely cherished partner. So they are bewildered when their manipulation tactics fail to keep you in the relationship. The narcissist works tirelessly to make partners emotionally and logistically dependent on them. When you break free regardless, it's a massive affront to their superiority and intelligence. The woman's husband exemplified this entitled mentality, even after the divorce was finalized. As she shared, he acted bitterly that I abandoned him, ignoring how awful he'd been for years. In his mind, I was still supposed to remain loyal despite the abuse. The narcissist's ego simply cannot comprehend why you would reject them after they so generously bestowed their attention. Their reaction is emotional immaturity on full display.
Why victims often return.
Many victims struggle to maintain no contact, even once they recognize the abuse. The narcissist employs tactics specifically designed to hoover you back in. They will shift between threats, folk remorse, and declarations of love. The narcissist also conditions you to crave the highs of intermittent reinforcement. After the love bombing early on, they withdraw affection periodically to keep you chasing it. This creates an addictive attachment, making no contact challenging. As the woman shared, occasionally when my husband was being particularly vile during the divorce, I questioned if I'd made the right choice. The process revived some of the trauma bonding that made it so hard to leave initially. But I kept reminding myself why I had to stay the course. Have compassion for yourself if you falter in implementing no contact. The manipulation you endured was meticulously crafted to be difficult to break free from. But prove to yourself that you can get out and stay out. Each attempt makes you stronger.
Life after the narcissist.
No contact offers you a chance to rediscover who you are apart from the narcissist's distortions. Their criticisms and projections mask your true gifts and personality. Away from the narcissist, your sense of self flourishes. The woman described the transformation. For so long, I thought I was unlovable and lucky he wanted me, as he'd insisted. After I cut contact, I made new friends, accomplished goals, and met someone who cherishes me. I learned my worth. The other woman also found solace focusing on her kids and career. She rebuilt her support network and became an advocate for domestic violence victims. Her life gained new meaning absent the narcissist's sabotage. Nocontact grants you the space to heal and pursue your purpose freely. The narcissist's opinion becomes irrelevant once they no longer wield control over you. When you go no contact, the narcissist's reaction seems extreme because you are no longer under their manipulative spell. But boundaries are kryptonite to a narcissist. Expect protest, but stay grounded in your worth. Each day of no contact brings you closer to freedom. The narcissist's responses illustrate why breaking ties was necessary in the first place. You deserve a partner who respects your autonomy. Distance grants perspective and the peace to rebuild freely. No contact ultimately frees your wings to soar. I hope you are able to connect with some of the attraction patterns covered today. If you're still struggling, please don't hesitate to reach out for personalized coaching. I'd love for you to share in the comments what narcissistic behaviors resonate and how you responded. What did you love about your narcissist when under their spell? Share your experiences in the comments and the impact it had. Can you relate to the allure explored in this video? Please open up so we can support each other in healing. If you have a specific situation with a narcissist you'd like coaching on, send me an email with the details and I'll create a personal video response just for you. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you haven't yet for upcoming videos. If you want to show thanks, you can press the thanks button and donate. Your monetary support is appreciated and specifically used to create content spreading awareness about narcissistic abuse. Have a wonderful journey of recovery.